What's the fastest way to make monkey money in BTD6? Today I'm gonna do the math and see what game mode would give the most amount of money per hour if you were to grind it, and we're also gonna look at other ways that beginners can make even more money. The first thing everybody should do is to get the Mo Monkey Money Monkey Knowledge to get 10% more for finishing games, and other than finishing normal games, there are several other ways to make monkey money too. And they include CT, Odysseys, races, boss events, boss rush, achievements, quests, daily challenges and chests, golden balloons and monkey teams. Most of these does not provide a good amount of extra cash, so unless you enjoy playing them, just avoid them. But some do really give a good amount of cash for the time spent, and those are boss events, daily challenges, daily chests and quests. Boss events gives you 400 for completing it on the normal difficulty and 800 for elite, and daily chests takes just a second to open, and daily challenges also only takes a few seconds, provided you can solve it on your own or just use a guide. Quests also don't take very long and often gives a very good reward for the amount of time spent. Most of the quests are just beginner guides, but there are a few that are actually very fun, so if you haven't done any quests, make sure to try them out. Achievements I classify as a not so great way to make money. There are some that gives you a good amount of cash, but the thing is that most of them you will achieve naturally, like beating 15 games of Chimps mode or popping a certain amount of Moabs. So in general I'd say that achievement hunting is not worth it for the sake of gaining cash, unless you can find one in which you will also gain a good amount of cash meanwhile you're working towards achieving it. When you play a map for the first time, you will get 5 times the amount of cash you would if you played it again. So if you're gaining monkey money from playing regular games, you should definitely begin by playing maps you haven't finished before. But what's the most efficient game mode to play? Sure, Impoppable gives you more cash than regular hard mode, but you also have to play a longer game. And what if you've already played Bloons for a while and you've already finished most of the maps? What would be the most efficient thing to grind? Let's do some testing and dig into the math to see what you should be playing. I began by playing a game of Deflation using a strat that is easy, fast and 100% AFK. Deflation starts on round 31 and ends on round 60, and this took me 5 minutes and 13 seconds to finish, and that includes the time it takes to back out and start a new game. We include that, so our numbers for the cash per hour ends up being correct. For Deflation mode, you'll be able to play a lot more games per hour than if you were playing Impoppable, so more time will be lost to starting up new games in Deflation mode than you would lose doing longer game modes. Using this strategy, you would make 172 monkey money per hour doing this on an easy map, and that rises all the way to 690 per hour on an expert map. These numbers here are all assuming that you've already finished the map, and it also assumes no monkey knowledge. If you have the monkey knowledge, you can multiply these numbers by 1.1x, and if you haven't finished the map before and you're jumping from map to map and only playing new ones, you can also multiply it by 5x. Now let's take a look at easy mode standard. This game mode is between round 1 and 40 and took me 4 minutes and 52 seconds to finish, including the time it takes to start up a new game. This game mode gives the exact same amount of monkey money as Deflation, and since we were able to finish it about 20 seconds faster than Deflation, it also gives us more cash per hour. We'll take a look at all the game modes side by side in a minute, but first let's look at medium standard. This one is from round 1 to 60 and took 8 minutes and 7 seconds, but it also gave us more monkey money. And actually, the extra monkey money compensated perfectly for the extra time it took, so in terms of its cash per hour, it's exactly the same as easy mode standard. Moving on to hard mode, which starts on round 3 and finishes on round 80. This one took 11 minutes and 57 seconds, but again, it gives a lot more monkey money. For this game mode, the extra cash more than made up for the longer time it took to finish, so hard mode is a lot more efficient than the previous ones. Finally, for Impoppable mode, it took 15 minutes and 18 seconds to finish, and yet again, it was worth the extra time. This game mode proved to be the most efficient one, but there are some caveats that needs to be mentioned. First of all, the rest of the game modes like Chimps and Magic Monkeys Only, for example, are not part of this test because they give the exact same amount of cash as the game modes that we have in the test, and the only difference is that they are more difficult, so there's no reason to give them their own tests. For the game modes other than Deflation, I did my tests on beginner and intermediate maps where I could easily create a setup where I never needed to pause. As soon as the game started, I enabled fast forward and never disabled it and never paused. I was also able to kill every Bloon throughout the game very fast without leaking anything, giving us some very fast games. I then used that time and applied it to other map difficulties. Finishing a game at that speed is going to be harder to do on an expert map, but it can be done. If you're going with the most efficient method of playing Impoppable on an expert map, then you should play the easiest one, which is Dark Castle. On that map you should be able to develop an easy strategy that you can do over and over. It will be a few seconds slower than my time because of the map having multiple lanes, but it won't affect the time that much. It should still be the most efficient method by far. So what game modes should you play? Well, if you're playing maps for the first time, then the best way is to play hard mode standard and then Impoppable and then move on to the next map. If you've already finished all of the maps, then you should do either Impoppable on Dark Castle or Deflation on Infernal if you want a more AFK method. This way you can just pop into the game every few minutes, place 3 towers and then go back to watching YouTube. But if you can't bother with any of that, you use my creator code and you max out every credit card you've got. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one.